Hey guys, how you doing? Okay, today we're going to talk about adding two fractions with unlike denominators. This might be a little bit longer, but there's 4 steps. For me, it's setup, it's LCM, it's equivalent fractions, and then it's solving. Let me talk to you about, or show you what I mean. For the setup, first thing I'm going to do with the setup is I'm going to rewrite this vertically. So I'm going to go my 2/5 like this. I'm going to write it out like that. Then in my setup, I always teach my kids, well, I know I'm going to be finding equivalent fractions. So I'm going to get myself set up to do just that. Put my equal signs, and I'm going to put my bars for my fractions. And I also know I'm going to be multiplying to find my equivalent fractions. So I'm going to get all this set up. Good. There. Step 1. Setup. Done. Next, the LCM, the least common multiple. I need that common denominator. So I got to find the least common multiple between my two numbers. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to set up my handy dandy Mr. T chart. In my Mr. T chart over here, I'm going to have one denominator, 2, and the other one, 5. 2 and a 5. Put down my multiples. I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. I always tell my kids to put down the first 5 multiples of every number. 1, it's good practice. 2, just in case. Always start with 5. If you need to go further, but start there. It's a good benchmark. Well, by looking at these, I can tell that my least common multiple is going to be 10. I'm going to move back over here. Now I know 10 is my new denominator, so I'm going to put that down for each of them. From here, I'm going to find step 3, my equivalent fractions. Over here, I know it's 5 times something makes 10. 2. Now I know to find an equivalent fraction, I've got to multiply my numerator and my denominator by the same number. So if I did 5 times 2 here, I've got to do 2 times 2 up here. 2 times 2 is 4. Boom. Now I know 2/5 and 4/10 equivalent fractions. It's 1 done. Up here, 2 times something makes 10. Well, I know it's 2 times 5 makes 10. If I did times 5 here, I'm going to do times 5 up here. 1 times 5 is 5. Boom. 1/2, 5/10 equivalent fractions. Now my denominators match. I can move on to step 4, solve. I know when I'm adding two fractions with like denominators, I keep my denominator. I'm still working with tenths. I know 5 plus 4 is 9. My answer, 9/10. And again, we practice these 4 steps. All right, first, we're going to set it up. Second, we're going to find the least common multiple. Third, we're going to find the equivalent fractions. And then fourth, we're going to solve it. All of these little steps in there are great for practicing. Least common multiple, you are practicing the multiples of your number, of any given number, really. Equivalent fractions, always good to remember that skill. It's going to make it easier when we transition to simplifying later. If they understand that we're multiplying the numerator and denominator, we're going to be dividing the numerator and denominator when we're talking about greatest common factor coming up soon. Anyhow, adding two fractions with unlike denominators. All right, hope you like this one. See you again soon.